the couch, whatever you're doing, stop right now and put your hands on it like this. When night has fallen, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost, my hope exhausted, you will be my strength. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. I've decided I'm not giving up. You won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on, it won't let go. Come on. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on, it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my soul. Let me hear you sing. In every season, you keep repeating your promises to me. Whoa, now there's no stopping what you have started until it is complete. Yeah, I've decided I'm not good enough. God, you're enough for me. I've decided I'm not giving up. You won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on, it won't let go. Hey, I feel it breaking out like an echo. Yeah, your love is holding on, it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my soul. Let me hear you say so. Yeah, so. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided I'm not giving up. You won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. Yeah, I feel it breaking out like an echo. Yeah, your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out, breaking out. Yeah, your love is holding on and it won't let go. Let me hear you. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Yeah, your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my soul. I can hear you. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that was such an awesome song. I feel like Reynald just kills it every time. And I'm so excited for next week. May 20th is going to be our award show, the Studies. And we want you guys to still dress up from home. I know we could all use an excuse to change out of our sweatpants. I could. And
too.
we're going to be dressing up. Are you going to? You're
Oh,
going
I'm
to
gonna
dress
be dressing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great. We're going to be giving out awards. We're going to be honoring our 8th graders and our seniors. And it's going to be a great night. Make sure you gather your family and tune in next week.
And that's right. I am so excited because it is my first award show with y'all. So I'm going to be in my sparkle outfit. My hair is going to be done. And I'm so excited to see you guys get some awards and just celebrate this past year and what God has done in this ministry. And we are so excited to celebrate you graduating seniors coming up here over the next couple weeks. So go ahead and fill out this link that's going to be right below me, or email me. It'll be right here. And just either fill out the link yourself or have your parents fill it out, because we have some fun surprises and just exciting things planned to celebrate you and celebrate this time in your lives. And we are also so excited for this week. It's week 2 of our Clout series. Pastor Rob was giving the message today, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say, so stay tuned.
Hey, I know y'all. Pastor Rob, he's supposed to be giving a message, but I don't see Rob.
Wasn't he drumming earlier?
I know. I was like, am I supposed to come out here for another song or something? But I don't see him. So
Should we go find him?
Let's
let's get Rob.
Let's
Let's
get
get.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
let's.
Alright, let's find Robert.
I really don't want to be here all that long.
Where's the So we gonna hit it. Where's the hit? I'm not gonna say this. I cannot believe we're playing hide and go seek. How old are we?
Let's explain to the people what we're doing.
So we are trying to find Robert and Jeff.
Yes, what's the one?
So they'll get me, Melody, and Lauren lunch if they win. Okay. No, please, sorry. No, please, sorry. All right. Me, all of us will get free lunch if we win. They get free lunch if they win. So we're just trying to find Robert.
We're getting clues.
I don't think we can move until we have a clue.
We're gonna lose a
Does that
minute,
sound
though.
dumb?
We're gonna lose a minute.
Well, I mean, you don't want to. You have your people?
I did that. I thought I did.
So that makes sense. There goes Tim, everybody. Say what's up to Tim. Tim, wave to the camera. We're playing hide and go
Can
seek.
you even see him?
You can't see him. but
Okay,
he's,
so that's cool. We are in.
he's like, "Rah."
We are in the build you go to often. We are in the building you go to often. We go to all these freaking buildings often.
Okay, so it's either the venue or the offices.
Well, what about the auditorium?
We're not really in the theater.
Oh, this is so annoying.
Can we ask a clarifying question?
That's dumb. We go to all these buildings often. They are dumb.
Guys, we need to move faster. We don't have.
I don't know what to do at this point. I'll buy them lunch. I'm just using them.
No, we're gonna win, you guys. We're
Where do
gonna
y'all
win.
think they're at? Put it in the chat box.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
We are in all the
Drop it.
buildings. It says we are in all the buildings. Oh, Melody. I'm so confused right now. Everything is a hint.
Yes, guys. Fun fact, I'm the only one that ever has keys in this.
So the first thing is we are in the buildings go to office. Because what do you think it is? Put it in the chat box.
Drop it in the chat.
It's a step away from the courtyard.
A step away. This is the courtyard. Oh, what?
Step.
This is rigged.
Where's
All
the
of these
courtyard? Is
games
this the
are-
courtyard?
No,
No,
this
that's
is,
the courtyard.
This is the courtyard. Here.
So it's the theater?
Okay, let's try the theater. What about the mezzanine? Freak.
Oh my god, this is so dumb.
Step away. A step away.
One step.
What about the dumpster?
Oh, okay.
But no, it's a building.
Oh yeah, they did say building.
Let's try it.
We gotta move quicker. We gotta move quicker.
I don't know where to start. I mean,
We don't. Let's start in the theater here.
okay.
A minute.
Okay, cat thing freaking in this building.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wait, is it right next steps?
okay. Oh, I saw somebody.
It's either Reach Cafe or.
Oh, Reach Cafe. Reach Cafe. Guys, we need to split up. No, go quickly to the Reach Cafe. Quickly, run, 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 run. All right, let's go. Hey, Mel, let's go this way.
I think we're.
Where do you think they're at?
Okay. Lots of people take notes here and maybe sleep. Oh, turn the lights on in here.
Lights!
Lights.
House lights.
Maybe people. Oh, the green room. No.
No, we were there. We were
No,
there.
no, it's.
In the balcony?
Isn't there comments?
No, we're in there. Wait, what's the clue?
People take notes here and food here.
In sleep here? The lounge.
Oh, yeah, the lounge.
What the heck?
No.
Wait, did you check back here? No. What the? I want to know. Put it in the chat.
Right here?
No. What?
He's downstairs.
Okay.
Guys, this is where we also record at.
Yeah, this is like a recording area.
Melody, where you at? Oh, we found him! We got him!
Ah! We got him!
Look at the timer! Go look at the timer! We won?
Wait, we won!
We won!
We won!
Oh, we did it! We
We
won!
won!
Our
We won!
timer!
We won!
Our timer! We won!
We won!
We won!
We won! 3 against 2!
But no, when you see that text, you were already going. You were already starting the timer. When you see that text to go, we already... Yes.
And you guys should have got extra time based on our time.
No, we would have got shorter time. No, we when did your thing go off?
It went off like 2 seconds ago.
2 seconds ago?
So you found them before?
Did you find them before? No, we lost.
Oh. Melanie!
I was right. I have to go out there and finish it.
He did. He did. Reynold, you did say it. Well, friends,
Let's go.
I guess, what do we have to do now, Reynold?
We gotta buy them lunch, but it's only $10 each, so it's like 20 divided by 3. That's $6.
No. The deal was $10 a person. A person! You are 2 people! Two people!
Plus
Yeah,
$20.
$20 split between
Yes,
3.
thank you. Lauren understands.
Two people. split between
$20
3.
total.
$20, and you split it 3 ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Oh.
You guys aren't understanding each other.
Listen, you got lucky this time, and it's okay. Well, I guess because it's cheap, whatever. But anyways, well, Rob's about to give a message. They could not find us. That's not my fault. That's not. That is what, nothing's rigged. It's all good. But listen, next week we have the awards. Senior 8th graders, we're going to celebrate you. But on a lighter note, a little bit of a sadder note, we are not actually doing camps this year. We're going to postpone those till 2021. Yes, in light of all the things that are going on, we feel like it's the best decision that we could possibly make. However, if you are a senior, we're going to celebrate you to the best that we can. So we have some things that we're trying to work on, things that we're trying to prepare to give you one last getaway before you head off to college. So thank you guys for being here. Rob, take it away.
So this series we're doing is called Clout. Last week you heard from Jeff, and actually this series is going to be a pretty short one. You see, we're already in week 2, and this is the final week. But we have some super cool stuff coming up this summer, and sadly it's going to be probably without me for a little while, because I'm about a week away from having my first child. Super excited about that. But today, I want to close out this series with a pretty famous saying that Jesus says. It actually comes from Mark chapter 8, and it goes like this. Then he, Jesus, called the crowd to him along with his disciples. And he said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. And here it comes. What good is it for somebody to gain the world, yet forfeit their soul? Dang. One of Jesus' most popular phrases. And I think when we're dealing with this idea of clout, you see, many of us get caught up by losing our souls because we're chasing something other than Jesus. So as we begin, would you just pray with me before we jump into this? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today, for these students. Lord, I ask that you would just prepare their hearts, prepare them and help them be ready for what they're about to hear from you, Lord. I ask that you would take away anything that is not from you, Lord, and give me words that are only from you. Amen. You see, I look back on my middle school and high school years, and I think that there's kind of a lot that I actually put above my relationship with God. Honestly, I can think of a few. They were sports, drama club, I know I was a geek, driving, hanging out with friends, but I think one of the ones that I look back on most, and it was girls. You see, in high school, it seemed like everything revolved around whatever girl was in my life at that time. And this last weekend, actually, my brother, my wife, and I were sitting with my parents, and we were talking about our high school life. And it was really good and interesting, but my mom found out some new stuff that she didn't really know before. So that was kind of fun. But for real, distractions are harsh, especially during this time in this world right now, right? I didn't have as much technology when I was in high school as you do, which is actually probably a good thing looking back on it. But you guys have sports, money, cars, relationships, shoes, social media, just to name a few of them. And it's so easy to chase something like that above Jesus. I think many times we actually end up chasing the clout and we forget to chase the cross. You see, when we really should be putting the cross over the clout. This actually isn't a struggle that you and me only deal with. It's actually a struggle that a pretty famous follower of Jesus dealt with. His name was Peter, and you might know him because I kind of call him the dumb disciple sometimes, because Peter, he's a pillar in the faith. He's a role model for us, but at the same time, it seems like every single time a disciple messes up or Jesus has to correct somebody, it's Peter at the center of it. You see, and this story takes place, it comes right after that saying we read earlier. And Jesus, he finishes up his little message of give up the world and follow me. And then he goes on, and this happens in Mark chapter 9. You ready? After 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, his favorites, with him, and he led them up a high mountain where they were all alone. There he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. You see, Jesus takes his favorites. Yes, Jesus even plays favorites. We all do. And he takes them to this really high mountain. And essentially what he's doing is he's showing them who he truly was. Up until this point, they thought of him as a good teacher. They thought of him as a rabbi. But he was showing them that he was the Son of God. No doubt about it. He changed from his human form into his heavenly form. And it says that he began glowing. And then something else amazing happens. It says, and there appeared before them Elijah and Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, Rabbi, teacher, it is good for us to be here. Let us set up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. For he did not know what to say. They were so frightened. Then a cloud appeared, covering them, and a voice came from the cloud. This is my son whom I love. Listen to him. Suddenly, when they looked around, they no longer saw anyone with them except Jesus. I love how Peter essentially freaks out. And he's like, holy crap, whoa, okay. Moses, hey. Elijah, hey. Do you guys want me to set up a tent for you? I mean, I can do that. Guys, let's go get some firewood. It's freaking Moses standing right in front of us. You see, these people were Peter's idols. I don't know about you, but I look back when I was probably your age, my idol was Derek Jeter. I wanted to play like him. I wanted to look like him. I wanted to act like him. You see, the thing is, these idols that Peter had, they've been dead a while. I want you to imagine something. You're just chilling with your friends, hanging out, standing in a room. Maybe you're playing video games or something. And then all of a sudden, in the room appears Abraham Lincoln, Michael Jackson, Tupac, Kobe. This was a big deal for Peter, James, and John. But Peter began to fall into this trap that I think many of us fall into, and Peter began to try to supplement Jesus with these other things. Pause there for a minute. Jesus tried to add something to Jesus. It's Jesus, Moses, and Elijah, but Peter didn't really understand all of it. You see, for him, following this guy named Jesus actually included following the law. So to Peter, it was Jesus plus the law equals building tents. That was faith. Because for Peter, Moses and Elijah were on the same level as Jesus. But this is the moment where all of that changes. This voice from heaven, it says, listen to Jesus, he is my son. This is the moment where Jesus goes from just being a Jewish idol to being the Messiah. He went from just being a good teacher to the teacher. He went from just being a friend to being the friend that was sent from God to save the world. And all of a sudden in Peter's mind, a light bulb went off. It clicked. Now, here's the thing about Peter. Peter actually had an excuse. Peter was living with Jesus before he died on the cross, before he rose from the dead, before he saved the world. You and I, we don't get that excuse. We live in a time where Peter wrote about that moment. We read this story and it comes straight from Peter. We can't say, I didn't understand Jesus, just show me your full glory. You see, but many times we still try to add things to Jesus. We know the whole story, but yet for us, we do the same thing Peter did and we supplement. We add to Jesus. You see, I came up with this little formula. It's this: Jesus plus blank equals faith. And usually for us, let's be real, it's blank plus Jesus equals faith because we put these other things above him. You see, and we end up chasing the clout before we end up chasing the cross. You see, too many times we create these labels for ourselves. Oh yeah, that's Robert, the sneakerhead, but he's also a Christian. Oh, that's Robert, he's the pitcher on the varsity baseball team. Oh, Andy's a Christ follower. But in reality, Jesus deserves to be at the forefront, right at the beginning. 100% of the beginning of who we are. It's not an afterthought like he actually is for many of us. Jesus should always come first. He's the most important. It should be the cross over the clout. You see, in that story, Peter knew that he was meeting legends. Again, think back. What if Michael Jackson, Kobe, Tupac, Whitney Houston, Heath Ledger, I don't know who it is. What if these legends we hold to such high standards and we look at and we're like, oh my gosh, they're amazing. What if they showed up? You see, Peter was meeting his idols. You don't think that right there would be a little clout to hold over your friends? You see, that's something that you would hold so high, and naturally, I'm sure he wanted to go brag about it, and he wanted to spend more time and focus on them. But really, the one thing that he needed, it was right in front of him. It was Jesus. You see, and God decides to point that out to him. How many times has God had to point out what you truly need to you? Sometimes God's reminders get lost, though. But if we're placing him above the other things in our lives like we should, we wouldn't need that reminder. We wouldn't need to have him tell us stuff if we put the cross above the clout. It's funny because right before that story, Jesus said that famous Bible verse, right? Mark 8:35-36. He was literally prepping Peter, James, and John for the moment that was about to happen. Remember this, he says, then he, Jesus, called to the crowd among him and his disciples, and he said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? What do you need to lose and replace with Jesus? What are you holding on to that you're putting on a higher pedestal than you're putting Jesus? What is it right now that you are needing to place on the back burner so that we can bring Jesus to the front? See, the thing is about Jesus, that equation, that formula, Jesus plus blank equals faith. There's something really specific that should fit into that blank. But right now I want you to think about this, and you can drop it in the chat box. What is it that you are putting in that blank? Put it in the chat. Be honest, show us. Is it Jesus plus sports? Is it Jesus plus money? Is it Jesus plus my friend? Is it Jesus plus the college I'm about to go to? See, here's the secret. The answer to that blank should be Jesus plus nothing. Nothing. Jesus doesn't need anything else. It's just Jesus. Now, hold on, because a lot of you are going to jump on this and be like, okay, well, Robert, does that mean those other things are bad? No. Should we completely ignore everything that's not Jesus? No. Does following Jesus mean I can't wear my Air Force Ones and my Yeezys? No. But you don't need to add anything else to him. He really is all you need. Only he can save you. The clout is pointless in comparison to Jesus. The clout should always go under the cross. The cross over the clout. As I finish up with this, I want to talk to two specific groups of you. Maybe you're in one of these two boats, right? One, you've been following Jesus for a while, and you've kind of stepped away. And you need to come back to keeping Jesus at the beginning, at the front. And it's a simple fix. All you got to do is pour your efforts back into him. I know sometimes the world can get in the way, our life can get in the way, and we put Jesus on the back burner. Just pray a little more often. Talk to him. Be honest with him. Read some scripture. Spend some time with him. What are we spending our time with that shows us what we are chasing? We should be chasing him. You see, maybe you're also sitting here thinking, this other group of you, well, I've been chasing the wrong things this whole time. Maybe this Jesus guy is what I should be chasing, but I've never known that. I've never been told that before. And you can make that decision right now too. Turn your life over to him. Let him into your heart. Turn a new page, fresh start. Come out of this time and go into the next school year ready with Jesus at the front. If that's you, we want you to talk to your small group leader or somebody about it. Email one of us. Get in contact with us. Instagram. I don't care how it is. We want to be able to celebrate and help you walk through that time. We want to help guide you. We want to help have a few answers maybe if you don't really know what you're going through. We are here for you. And if that's you, we want to hear about that. But you see, the cross should always come before the clout. And that's what I'm praying for you. That's what I'm hoping for you, is that Jesus is at the center. Jesus is at the forefront, that everything else revolves around Jesus. It doesn't revolve around you. It doesn't revolve around your things. It doesn't revolve around your quote-unquote clout. That's what I'm praying for you. I want you to chase the cross before you chase the clout. So as we finish up this series, I just want to pray over you guys. Can we do that? Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, you are so good. You are so good to us even when we chase the wrong things. Lord, even when we put our shoes higher than you, our cars higher than you, our schooling higher than you, our sports higher than you, God, you still love us, and we are at the top of your mind, even when you're not at the top of ours. And Lord, I want to pray that if these students felt convicted, or if for some reason we were like, I need to get back into the right way of loving God, I need to get back into putting him first, Lord, that they would do that. And that they would be honest with themselves, and that they would just open up to somebody and ask them for maybe a little help. Lord, and we ask all this in your name because it's only under your power that it can happen. Lord, we can try in our efforts, and it's just going to fail and fail and fail. So, Lord, I ask that we would be able to partner with you in putting you first. And I say that all in your name. Thank you so much for what you did on the cross for us. Thank you so much for sacrificing for us. And everybody said, amen. Well, that is it for our week today. Clout, it was fun. It was a lot of fun, but here's the deal. Next week's going to be even more fun. We've got our awards coming up next week. A lot of you guys have been nominated. We've been working on this for a while. We got some really cool, fun bits that you hopefully find a little funny. I may or may not sing with a little bit of auto-tune. Who knows? But here's the other thing. If you don't see me back next week, it just means I had my kid. So, but hey, check out this blooper reel right here. We can't wait to see you guys in groups. Peace out, everyone.
You will be mine. I messed up on the words. Let's run that back. For me, I've decided I'm not. I messed up on the words. I'm sorry. I can't. Me one more time, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't know I was in it.
Oh, we were on a roll.
All right, try it again, guys. My fault.
To celebrate you excitement 1,400 different times. And in the tone of excitement, we are going to celebrate you upcoming graduate.
Okay.
Okay. It's going to be here, y'all. Okay. It's going to be here. I'm not in my head. I'm trying to. It's fine.
So 8th graders, seniors, we know you're going to be graduating soon. So this one goes out to you.
It goes out to you, yeah.
Cool. We up? We ready? Whoa.
Hey, Jack and Jill went on.